Hey guys, I am back and today I am going to be doing something that I haven't done in a while, which is a palette bingo. And I wanted to do palette bingos featuring the palettes and shades in my Pan Those Eyeshadows series. So if you aren't familiar, I started doing Pan Those Eyeshadows this past month. It's all very recent. I will link the playlist down below so you can get all caught up, but I wanted to start with this Buxom Dolly or Boss Babe Dolly palette. If you weren't familiar, I have the shade Last Call rolled in. And so I wanted it to do a palette bingo where this shade was like automatically rolled in. So I have Last Call right there. It's like a peachy gold. And then I'm going to roll in probably 3, maybe 4 other shades to get going with this palette bingo. So I just used my graphing calculator because it has a random number generator built into it. And there are 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12 shades. So I want, but the shade Last Call is already rolled in, so I'm actually going to skip that one, kind of. I've already selected it. So I'm going to randomly generate 3 shades between 1 and 11, and we'll just skip it when we count. And the shades are 2, 3, and 11. Okay, so 2 is my favorite shade in this palette, which is the shade Drippin'. It is very glittery, almost chunky, but it kind of gives that, it's not quite a wet look shadow, but it gives that similar effect. 3 would be Last Call, but we're skipping it, so it's the shade Mink Magnet, which is a little bit of a bronze. And then the shade 11 is going to be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, which is this last shade. The shiny packaging plus the lights is not working together very well. And it's the shade Wild Night, which is this burgundy shade. So here we have Drippin', Mink Magnet, and Wild Nights. Part of me wants to roll in another shade to get a matte, but I'm worried about getting another shimmer. So I think I'm just going to stick with these, and I'll reach for like 1 or 2 mattes that's just already in this palette, but I'm going to incorporate all 4 of these into an eye look. Okay, so we've scooted you in a little bit, and my eyes are primed and set with a cream powder. And I'm just going to go into the shade A-List, which is kind of a bright light pink. And I'm just going to do a sheer wash of that in the crease. I think I'm going to use that Wild Nights shade as a liner, which means I gotta do some layering on the lid with the other shades. And then I'm just gonna take a little bit of the shade Spoiled Sexy, which is another matte, and I'm just going to fluff it on the outer kind of corner, not bringing it into the crease completely. These blend out so beautifully. They're kind of on the sheer side as far as like, if we're going to consider like Tati Beauty textured neutrals and like Anastasia Beverly Hills mattes as being like, they're kind of powdery and they're very pigmented. These are a little bit more sheer, or like a rock shadow as like a very pigmented shadow. These are a little bit more sheer, kind of comparable to my experience with MAC shadows, or those like Dior, that one Dior palette I have. maybe even a little bit comparable to my Smashbox Pan That palette, which I will link down below in case you're curious about that palette. But it just makes it very easy to blend all of the shades. I mean, the color story is not groundbreaking, but it works well together, which is kind of the whole point. So now I'm going to take putting together my arsenal of brushes to have at the ready. I'm going to take Mink Magnets kind of on the outer half of my lid. And then I'm just going to take Last Call, which is that top shade. These lights are kind of washing it out, but it's just like a peachy gold. So that's Mink Magnet, which I just put on the outer corner. I'm going to take Last Call on like the center and inner part of my lid with this packer brush. This is how I've been preferring to apply this shade. I think it just picks up more product than I'm able to do with my fingertips, and then just deposits it really nicely on my lid. Just gonna go back in with a little Mink Magnet, kind of like tap along that center. I'm gonna take a little bit of drip in, like not fully coating my finger, just a little bit, and I'm just going to press it on where those two gradients meet. Or those two shades meet, I guess. Tapping super lightly. And now I'm gonna go in with this flat, kind of wider liner brush. I'm going to dig into Wild Nights, and then I'm just going to give it a little bit of a spritz of setting spray. And I'm going to use this to line my upper lash line. I'm going to take a little bit of A-List, that first pinky shade, on the lower lash line, just to give me a base to work off of and to kind of ground the upper and lower lash line as more of a cohesive unit. And then I'm going to take Wild Nights on the lower lash line, like the outer lower lash line. And then I'm going to go in with a little bit more setting spray and that Wild Night shade on this MAC 263 brush and just wing it out just a wee bit. Oh no, I'm making a mess. And then I'm just going to take this like kind of short packer brush, and I'm going to take a little bit of Mink Magnet and put it on the inner lower lash line. And then I'm going to put a little bit of drip in on the inner corners. Do I have enough eyeshadow on my eyes? I don't know. I only got like what, like 7 shades. But I think I've gotten all the required shades. I've gotten all the Palette Bingo shades. I've got some depth. I've got some drama. We've got some color. I think I'm gonna back away and apply some mascara and lip product, and I will be right back to show off the finished look. So here is the finished look with mascara. I am actually really surprised by how this turned out. I was a little nervous mixing like the peach and the bronze and a purple all together. I mean, this dripping shade can do no wrong, so that wasn't a problem, but I think the gradient from like the peachy pinky out to like the purpley pinky out here just looks so pretty. That mink shade I think is grounding it really well in the inner corner and like on that in the inner lower lash line on the outer corner of my lid. I think it just kind of is a nice canvas for my eyes. And then I have never gotten wings more symmetrical in such a short amount of time without having to like redo it and make them super big. So I'm really happy with that too. The only thing I'm not happy with is this freaking mascara. I really don't like it. The Extra Sculpt Volume Mascara from Dido Cosmetics. It just, first of all, the wand is super flimsy, so it's so hard to like get in there, especially on the lower lashes. I feel like I'm just like praying that I don't get it all over because of the weird shape of the brush, and because you can't like, you have to like get like pressure or else it just bends super easy because yeah, it's not stiff like Tarte's Light Camera Lashes. Like, see, same pressure, does not, it bends a little bit, but like I can't get the wand to like bend in half. Do you see? And it's so sticky, it makes the lashes stick together. It never really sets down. I was going to try and stick it out and see if maybe as it dried it would get better, but it is not, and I just wanted you to know that it's bad. So, but other than that, I think I did, like, I ended up going in with this to fix the lashes, and I'm really happy with how this turned out. Back to happy. This palette has some really beautiful shades in it. It's clearly very pink leaning, pinky purples, peaches, like kind of warm toned bronzes and peaches, and then some just like straight up pinks. But I mean, that's kind of the vibe right now with Barbie and everything going on. So I think this is a beautiful, beautiful palette. I'm so excited to keep using this Last Call shade, and hopefully we'll see a pan on it very, very soon. If you liked today's palette bingo, please let me know down below. I want to do the same thing with my Laura Mercier Artists palette that I have the shade Guava rolled in right now. So that might be coming up in the next couple of weeks. And if I roll in any fun shades in my next Pan Those Eyeshadows update, I'm not sure when this is going up in relation to that update. I think it should be going up next week as this is uploaded. Regardless, I'll do one of these with those two, just because this was really fun, and having this automatically rolled in definitely, like, I think this, I would have been much less unsure of what to do, but this one I was like, it's just very different. So other than that, I really hope that you are having an amazing day wherever you are, and that I get to see you in a future video. Thanks, guys.